Hi everybody. So you don't see my face. I'm behind the camera, but it's Miss Paula Alford, blogging for NuSplash. I have a very interesting topic that we'll be talking about today, and I have a new vlogger here with us, and we're going to change up the style and the way we do this today. We have a vlogger here who's going to speak to you about HIV and being HIV positive. And I'm going to ask some questions. I encourage all of you to jump in at any time with your questions and your concerns, and let's put this topic on the table as it needs to be. Okay, so I guess the first question that I would have is, how did you find out you were HIV positive?
I found out through my regular routine primary care physician visit. I went and I was just going to the doctor just because it's my regular time to go to the doctor. And every time I'm at the doctor, I usually get my a panel done, which is the STDs, HIV and AIDS. It's a whole panel that they draw blood for. So I went for that, and then I was called in for the results. And usually the nurses in my clinic, everyone is like, okay, they're pretty cool. Like they can sneak and give me my results over the phone because I've been negative for so long since I've been sexually active. But this particular day when the nurse called, there was a different tone in her voice that I knew something was wrong, but she was just, putting it out there that I had to come into the doctor's office today and that my test results had came back and that I had to speak to the doctor and the doctor only. So I went into the doctor's office and they rushed me directly in the room with the doctor, and the doctor pretty much reviewed everything with me. At that time, the doctor was very, very unprofessional. I can remember verbatim. She was saying it's basically because of the lifestyle that I live, as my sexual preference is the reason why I am now HIV positive. And I just couldn't understand it because once you automatically announce that you are now positive, I just blinked out and I didn't hear anything else. And then she just kept saying, well, you are gay, correct? You do have same sex. And I'm like, what is she saying? She's a medical professional. She should not be linking the two to that, and that has nothing to do with it. So, how I was told was very, very bittersweet and tough.
Okay. So I had a host of questions after that, but you were answered like four questions all in one with that one question. So I can move on to asking, what was the very first thing you did upon finding out?
The very first thing I did, I snatched my test results and I just got in my car and I just began to cry. I called my aunts and I called them from work and I said to them, you need to leave work and you need to meet me at home because there's something going on. So they were frantic, leaving their jobs. They didn't know what was going on. Well, it was just a regular day in April, so it was beautiful weather, and I just called them and give them the scare. On the way home, I ran every stop sign, every red light, because I only saw nothing. It was just roads. I didn't even feel like I was driving. I just knew I got home and I made it and was able to put the key in the door, and I got in the door, and I just sat down on my floor and then I waited for my aunts to get there. They arrived, and I told them what happened, gave them the results, and then from there it was just, it was a lot of support, a lot of crying, um, and then I said, okay, I have to go get a second opinion. Because you never take anything face value, you always get more than one opinion. So I went and I got a rapid test, like a regular, you can go to any place. They have some people in the mall that'll stick your finger and give you the rapid test nowadays. So I went and got a rapid test, and the rapid test said the same thing, that I was positive. So there I have it. I have a rapid test, and then I have my blood drawn. At that point, I said, it is what it is. It's clear that I am positive.
So this was what? How many years ago?
This was April of, I want to say it's been about 4 years now.
Okay. So from that point, from that day until this day that we're sitting here talking, what was some of the thoughts that you may have thought negatively about having HIV at that point that you've come to now understand a positive outlook now 4 years later?
Now, going through the process, I have to say I have a great medical team who are very supportive and they keep in contact. So now my biggest concern was being a public person, a public figure. Will I have to now be in the house and just whittle away and die? Because I didn't know once I go outside every day if it's going to be written on my forehead, if it's going to be noticeable, if my weight was going to drop, if my skin was going to start turning colors. And I was using information that I was seeing other people doing, and I saw them that they're not living too good. And I just automatically assumed that I'm going to die. Here I am at 21, and I'm just able to drink and smoke legally, get in clubs, and now I'm going to die. So it was very tough. For a while, I closed the door. I did not speak to many people. Um, I put on the brave face just to go to work and go home. And I just, I dealt with it. But one thing I did immediately was seek treatment.
Right. Okay. So, if you could, to the person out there who may have a spouse that may have HIV, may have just been told that their spouse have HIV. I'm talking about relationships right now because I think that becomes a concern at some point too. Because I think the human spirit, everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be in a loving relationship. So, have you found that to be challenging? And speaking from your perspective, how should people that may not have HIV um, approach a relationship or a situation with someone that does have HIV, and vice versa, someone that may have HIV? How should they look to seek love, or how should they look to seek a relationship?
It was very difficult for me. I would not date. I would not want to get into a relationship, but that's what my mouth said. That's not what my heart felt. Because I was afraid of putting this burden on someone else. Um, it's very hard to sit down with someone who you are interested in and attracted to, and you guys have so many things in common, and then you have to break the news to them that, okay, well, I'm also positive. And then that's one more person that knows about your status, and then the fear of them leaving, and then you're back at square one. It was very difficult. I am now wrapping up a 1 year relationship where I told my partner 6 months in the relationship, which was a traumatic mistake on my behalf, because one thing I've learned now is you can't make a decision for anyone without including them. You need to be vocal. Yes, you may not want to share that on the first date, but don't wait too long, because feelings, emotions, connections, you're going to meet their family, you're going to meet their friends, you're going to meet their loved ones, their job. You're going to just meet them, and they're going to meet you. And then you're going to hit them with a bomb like this. It's ultimately, you made a decision for someone, and that's not fair. I will say, yes, it's very troubling, and it's very hard. It's probably the hardest things about being positive is finding love again. And not only finding love, but finding that one person that's going to be knowledgeable and accepting.
I want to wrap this up because this is just one of many series that we'll have these discussions and vlogs, and I don't want to like congest it all into this one session. And I know just from what we've talked about in this session, people are going to have multiple questions. So I want to assure people that they can be very open with you. This is a format in which we want to develop relationships with an audience that they can come to you and ask you questions. So I'm going to stop it here. I'm asking you all as an audience to feel very free to ask your questions. This is going to be the only way that you're going to be able to contact this person and have this feedback, this intimate feedback, is through these vlogs at this moment until a later date. And we just really appreciate you taking out the time to do this, and we look forward to next week's series. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.